You know, I guess this is why I, you know, I guess as a Virgo or as someone who's so analytical and just so in their head a lot and so obsessed with control. Just I need to control everything around me. I need to be on top of things. I don't forget shit. Someone who's making to-do lists in their brain and, you know, has a Google. I don't need a Google Calendar. I've got a Google Calendar up in my brain. I've got all my appointments up here. You know, I'm so attracted to people who exhibit the energy of Scorpio, you know? Especially their emotional side. They're so beautiful and so wonderful and so interesting and so intricate, but very receptive to the things around them. And my observation is just simply that the thing that's in front of them means everything to them. And then once that is out of their sight, it's like whatever you put in front of them next, whatever is in front of them becomes the most important thing, which is fair enough. I mean, to be fair, I didn't constantly I wish I didn't constantly have to think about a lot of shit. I'm sure it would be really nice if you, like, I don't know, once you, like, put something out of your sight, like, you actually forgot it was there. I feel like that would be really cool. I wish I was born that way. Unfortunately, I'm not. So I will give them that. I will give people that forget things are a genius. Like, wow, I really got the short end of the stick for that. Fucking remembering everything is not what it's cracked up to be sometimes. But anyway, I think my issue with that relationship with me and people like that is I can see, like, we're so attracted to each other. Like, I'm so attracted to that energy, but it's like, how do I say? I just can literally see their attention being thrown all over the place. And, it's like once I'm out of their sight, then I no longer exist in their mind. So it's just like, it's so easy for me to get forgotten about. And I guess that, like, that's not the issue. The issue is that for me at least, I would want someone who remembers me and doesn't have to wait for me to, like, go into this line of vision in order to be remembered that I don't know, I'm your friend, or, you know, you have to wait till you see me to remember how you feel about me. And I guess that's just my personal view, because I don't forget about people. Like, just because I haven't seen someone in a few months, or just because I'm not looking directly at them, or do you know what I mean? I'm still thinking about them, and my feelings don't change. I'm not gonna forget that I really, really genuinely love and care for this person. I'm not going to forget that. If that's how I feel about them, I know it. So, whereas I feel like I'm used to dealing with people who, to be fair, they might really love me and I appreciate that. However, they don't treat me very well because, as I just said, they might love me, but they forget about me. So they don't check up on me. They don't do things that perhaps they should. They don't really give me the kind of love that I'm giving them, because this matter of fact is they just forget. There's just so much going on, fair enough. And, one thing leads to the other, which leads to the other, which leads to the other, and you just get stuck in these different places. And it's I still love people like that, because the thing is, I'm always going to be attracted to people like that, because that energy is so attractive in general. Because whether they realize it or not, if you're someone who's like that and you're aware of that, you can be so powerful, because you understand that you are attractive. Like, how you operate naturally as a human being, that is attractive. Like, when you're pondering, it's like the face that you pull. The face that you pull when you're pondering, when you zone out, when you change attention spans from one thing to another. Like, the way that you do that is attractive, period. if you are self-aware about that, then of course, if you're that type of person and those were the cards that you were dealt, then you can use that to your advantage. And boy, that is a powerful thing to have. But, I'm always going to be, if that was the case, I'm like, what would I prefer? Would I prefer to fall in love with someone who is aware about how desirable they are? Because therefore, if I admit to them, I have feelings for you, they're going to, I don't know, try and play like cat and mouse, because they're like, oh, well, I know. So I'm just gonna like drag you in whichever way. But the other side of that is, even if they're not aware of it, like they can still do that unintentionally, which is even worse. Because like, I definitely feel like some Scorpio people are walking around this earth being like, why does everyone think I'm so attractive? Like, why do I get so much attention? And it just hasn't clicked yet that their energy or the way that they move is just so, it always catches your eye. And so they don't really think twice, but they don't realize that they're leading people on and like misguiding people. And, it's just really funny and really beautiful, but also really sad for someone like me who will always be attracted to that energy and always be thinking in the back of my mind, I've got to be careful, because either they don't want me or they're going to make me feel unwanted and not even realize it. And it's something that they can't help. Or they can, actually. It's not fucking like, I'm not saying that fucking, God, everyone can become a better person, everyone can change, everyone can improve themselves. So like, it's absolutely none of that, Yoshi. But I mean, it's something that they would work towards, I guess. But to be like that naturally is something. But then on the other end as well, I think people like that are also attracted to people like me, who are just very put together and standing still. And I feel like in an ocean, when in a place where you feel like an ocean that's crashing down wave upon wave back and forth, and it's just this thunderstorm of like intensity and craziness and constant like loudness and this and that going on. And then in the midst of that, you get faced with someone who is constant, someone who isn't moving, someone who's standing still amidst all the craziness. And that's what pulls them towards you, is that steadiness. Because when everything around you is moving but this person isn't, of course you're going to be gravitated towards them. Kind of like those people are like a ship at sea and I'm a lighthouse, and I'm like, okay, we got to go towards it, where the light is, like that's where shore is. Which, maybe they're not aware of that. Maybe they are. But the thing is that I like order. And, I don't want to... I think I have this really bad ability to control people. And I don't like that about myself. I can't help it sometimes that I like everything to be in order. And I stress a lot. And I don't like personally to show this side of myself a lot. Like, it does come out, obviously, and I feel really bad if I show it off, because sometimes I just want things to be right. And so I get very passionate, and I'm just like, that's not good enough. This needs to happen. This needs to happen. You need to do this. This is what's going to happen. This is what is going, and we're not stopping until it's like this. So like, I just get so into it, and I stress people out, and it sort of turns into this I sort of offset this panic and this fear in people, that they don't want to step on, like, the wrong side of the sidewalk. Like, they don't want to overstep a boundary because I might do something which I won't. Like, I'm naturally like that. Yes, I can be very demanding and very methodical and very in those situations. Not everyday life, please. Like, no one is fucking, I'm not that scary, but if I was in a situation where that side of me was to come out, I might be. And so, I feel like as well, I take charge a lot, and I feel like when some people are sort of looking towards other people to make them or let them decide how they should be feeling or what they should do, I feel like someone who takes charge naturally, there's just that awful chance that those two energies are going to come, and it's like, well, you're already building this weird dynamic where one of you is so everywhere and one of you is all together, and you're already building that dynamic of the who creates the idea in the relationship and who follows it. Meanwhile, under all of that, even though there might be a distinct, like, the one with the upper hand, the one like on the lower end, but really it's always changing and it's always even because both sides care about each other a lot. And do you know what I mean? It's either on my side, I end up controlling someone basically, and then being like, well, actually, do you love me, or is this genuine, or have I just accidentally conditioned you into fucking loving me? Meanwhile, on my end as well, on the other end, it's like, well, I actually genuinely love you so much, but I will never be able to get to your core. Like, it's like almost impossible. Like, the concept of you, like, is just so everywhere. Like, you belong to no one, and you understand that and you accept that for yourself. So there's just this distance already. I'm just like, I'm trying my best. I'm trying. All I want is you, but I can never get it. And so it's just like, oh my God, these two energies, there's just such a recipe for disaster, but it's also such a beautiful thing. Like, obviously, I don't want to have this be a negative, I need to always turn everything in my life into a positive. And obviously, astrology aside, those two unique personalities, as similar and as different in their own unique ways, 100%, there are people around the world who are exactly like that, who are together in happy, healthy, committed, long-term relationships, and I'm sure they're happy and they're living their best lives. And I'm sure there is a whole bunch of other people just like that who have come together and had, terrible things go down. I just think that communication is key. Understanding is very important, because if you're dealing with two opposite end polar opposite people on the emotional spectrum or existence, of course there's gonna be clashing. But I guess if you're lucky enough to be in a place where you can respect each other's emotions and the differences or the approaches that you take to love and life, and learn to not take things personally when you don't need to, because some people are the way that they are. And I feel like it's also important to say that just because someone is the way that they are doesn't give anyone an excuse to be a bad human or to treat people like shit intentionally. 100%. But I think in terms of finding a healthy, balanced, caring, loving relationship with another person, you kind of have to think of it like, well, I mean, obviously it depends on who you are as a person, I guess, but, if someone is the type of person who gets very passionate and very fired up. Like they flare up, you know, uh, on the angry side when something goes wrong. You know, like if, you know, they have a drink and they spill the drink and they, you know, some people might be like, oh, damn it, like, let's go get a cloth, clean it up. People like me, for example, if I was to spill my drink, of course I'd be like, ugh, but what's actually more important than being like, oh, for fuck's sake, like, stupid fucking, ugh, now the table's ruined, fuck's sake, gotta fucking clean it up. Like, I wouldn't get like that, because what's actually more important is that there's a problem now that needs to be solved, because I'm a problem solver. So I'd be like, okay, that's really sad that I just knocked over that glass. I also have to go fill it up again, and I just wasted some. But I actually need to clean the spill up, and I need to go wipe it, and then I need to spray it and like wipe it again so it's not sticky. Because it's like, in my head it's like Coca-Cola. Why did I say Coca-Cola? It's Coke in my brain. So yeah, for me, but like, you know, some people might just get really angry about it. And how do I say? I guess in that regard, like, you know, it depends on who you are 100%, but in that situation, if you were next to that person that dropped their drink of Coke and spilled it and had to clean it up and they got really angry, I could totally see someone, you know, for some reason making it about, not making it about themselves, but that person's natural reaction to get a bit angry and flare up and very animated and, you know, very dramatic and just very, ugh, like, I can't, fuck's sake, you know? Like, I can totally see someone being around that energy and sort of it triggering them and sort of being like, oh no, like, they're angry at me, or like, oh my god, like, now I'm stressed, like, I don't want you to be angry, like, blah, 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 blah. Which is fair, but, you know, I feel like, I don't know if this is just me naturally. I definitely have a lot of friends who are like that, but, you know, or I feel like you need to be able to understand that that's just who they are. You know, no, they're not gonna, you know, unless they're like, I don't know, getting violent, then that's another issue, but let's just keep it simple for now. But, you know, just because their natural response was to get angry, like, you know, you don't need to take that personally. You just have to be like, well, I understand that, like, to be honest, it's not that big of a deal. Like, just clean up the glass and fill it up again. Like, oh well, like, we all make mistakes. Like, just be careful. You know, don't spill your drink. And then move on from it. You know, obviously that's not the case for everyone. So, do you know what I mean? If you're in a relationship like that, then as long as you have the understanding, like, okay, well, you're just gonna get angry about it, and that's fine. That's you. But, like, you know, you just be like, okay, it's fine. I'm not gonna scream at you and be like, don't fucking get angry. But, like, you know, let's clean it up. Let's move past it. You know, let's only swear like twice instead of a billion times. But I don't know. I feel like it could also, you know, it's a good thing, because I feel like the person who's on the angrier side would probably look back and be like, well, I actually appreciate you for not letting me scream all the time, but do you know what I mean? Not sort of silencing me and telling me to calm down when literally, like, I physically cannot calm down, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? And it's sort of having that respect between people and understanding, well, yeah, this is the way that I am. This is how I react to things. This is how I don't react to things. And that's the same for you. Like, I respect you and I respect how you operate as a person. And I need both of us to respect each other, because once you have that, then you can really take your relationship to the next level, because you're free to be yourself. You're free to exist naturally with each other, like genuinely naturally with each other. And when you do that, it's only then that you have the opportunity to find out what your true friendship or relationship dynamic is. You know, how do you both find peace and happiness in each other? And you can't do that if you're constantly hiding parts of yourself or you have a wall up, which obviously, to be fair, don't let your walls down to just anybody because they'll use you. But I mean, if you are in a relationship with someone where you are up to that stage where you should be figuring out what your dynamic is, like, why do you still have your walls up, kind of thing, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, why? Like, I thought we moved past that. I thought we already trusted each other. We obviously respect each other enough to get to this position right now. So why do you keep hiding from me? And I feel like that's something that I'm just figuring out now, and that's totally fine. But, I feel like that's just all I've been thinking about. I just recorded this now because I needed to get this out of my chest, off my chest and out of my head. But yeah, as I move forward next year and I put myself out there, I definitely just need to keep that in mind, that if I give a little, I'm going to get it back 100%. And, for the relationships that I have, I definitely want to just keep, exploring and pushing myself to just be open and be myself. A lot of people already know who I am. But, I feel like there's so many people in my life that still have a wall up in some regards. But also, in saying that, then I need to make sure that I don't have a wall up. I want to be myself, and I need to also practice what I'm preaching. So yeah, like, this is just a little pep talk. I have many of these throughout the day, and like a billion at least. Like, this is just one of fucking 50 that I've had today. But yeah, definitely, yeah. I can't wait to get like a proper camera and like a tripod so I can actually properly like film. But but yeah. That's it for now, I guess. Yeah, lots to think about, but I guess the moral of all this rambling on is to just be myself, and to obviously, not right now because I'm still working on my album and I want to do my visual project for it. So I've got a lot to do. I'm not really in the mood right now to be social or like go out looking for like a new relationship or something. But I definitely want to start with the ones that I have and just, touching up and refining them and making sure that people know that I care about them. So, yeah. And then next year, when I step out into the world, I'm just going to try my best to sort of put myself out there and think to myself, well, I know I've got a lot of love to give that I don't have anyone to give it to. And obviously, if I go out and I just give myself away emotionally, not physically, like, there's a very good chance that someone is going to realize what I'm doing and realize that I'm just giving myself away because I'm so desperate for love, kind of thing, and would definitely, destroy me. So, however, I also understand that by thinking too much about things, I sort of miss the opportunity to actually go out and do things. Now, obviously, I still have to take into consideration, like, my limits and what makes me comfortable and what doesn't. And, I can't just walk into a room full of 100 people that I don't know and just start randomly talking to someone. Like, I just don't want to do that, and I don't really think I can. So, in saying that, I'm not going to push myself completely to do shit that I'm not comfortable with, but at the same time, I just have to remember and just simplify it and just be like, just do it. Just put yourself out there. You have so much love to give. Like, if you Maybe if I do another video on this, like I'll stop this and then obviously upload this and then I'll upload the other one. So true.